Welcome back to my series on Vipassana meditation. We've already had 2 videos, and I'm sure if you've watched those first 2 videos, you already would have a very clear idea about this beautifully pure and extremely powerful meditation of Vipassana as it was taught by Gautama Buddha. You would have a clear idea by now of how it was brought back to India, its land of origin, how it was introduced here, what all it entails, how you can truly know if Vipassana is the right meditation for you, and how to prepare yourself mentally, physically, emotionally for your first 10-day Vipassana meditation retreat, what to expect, what not to expect from it, and how you can go about it, and a whole lot of other things, including what happens on day 0 of a Vipassana retreat, which is the day when you actually go to the center and you're assigned your rooms, you hand over your things, you say bye-bye to your loved ones for the next 10 days because you're not going to be in any contact with anyone. And when you're also given your orientation and your first introduction into Vipassana formally, you're assigned your cushions, your room, and when you also are explained the 5 precepts, and when you take a vow of noble silence for the next 10 days. And you retire for the night at about 9 o'clock after a first short experience into Vipassana, or the first experience of Anapana, which precedes Vipassana. So now in this video we are going to be talking about what happens on day 1, day 2 and day 3. I'm going to be talking also all about the routine, how the day is broken up into various parts, the bell schedule, and everything that goes into the making of this day, and how you can truly make sure that you gather the maximum optimal experience from these precious 3 days out of those 10 days. Remember, this is a life-changing experience, and it takes a lot of determination for your first step to be able to register and decide that you are going for a Vipassana course. If you have come to this point, bravo, you already taken that first huge life transformational leap, because for many people, even getting themselves to register for this 10-day course, it's a huge step, and they are not able to do this many times, which is something which also happened with me. I felt too anxious, too kind of scared, too unsure when I registered for my first Vipassana course, and I didn't go. I exited, I signed out, I never went there. I unregistered myself, and it was only a few months post that I was actually able to gather the courage to go into my first course. I also spoke about Mr. J. Shah in my first video, and I believe that his blessings and his grace and his talks to me about Vipassana helped a lot, and those blessings were there, and they also gave me the inner courage with all that I was going through to be able to go ahead and let go of myself into the fire, as I would have said for myself that time, that it's a test by fire, but I know this fire is what I really need, my system really needs right now for absolute purification, and I went ahead. So anyway, coming to day 1, your day will start at 4 o'clock in the morning, when the gong outside would be rung, 4 o'clock, or perhaps 5 minutes before 4, to wake up everyone, including the heavy sleepers. You would also be having most likely your own watch, or you can set up an alarm or a digital clock, and you can set it up accordingly and wake up at 4 or slightly before 4, because this is the time when you will need to have a bath and quickly get ready with minimum frills and fancies, and head off to the main Vipassana hall, because the meditation, your first Vipassana, your first meditation of your first day, will begin sharp at 4:30 at dawn. It's going to be from 4:30 to 6:30 in the morning. 4:30 is also a very precious time in Indian spiritual tradition. This is not connected to that, but I just want to throw in this bit. It's also what is called the Brahma Muhurat in Indian spiritual tradition. It's a very auspicious hour, very potent, powerful hour for waking up and connecting with the spiritual energies, whether through yoga, whether through meditation, whether through mantra. It's one of the most powerfully aligned hours of the day, so it's the best hour. It's the best thing that you guys get to wake up at this hour and start your first meditation. Now there are some things which I have noticed. There are most of the people, including myself, also at the time of my first course, I always prefer to have a quick bath, have a quick shower, and and then go ahead to the meditation hall. But I noticed there have been people who don't always do things in this order. They are not really able to wake themselves up in time, or for any other reasons they head off, maybe just take a shawl or something and head off to the Vipassana hall, and it's only after that first schedule is over do they do the rest of the thing in the break period, the bath and everything else. But I would highly recommend to first go ahead and have a bath. This is the right way to do things. It allows you to be free of negative vibrations which you carried from the world, outside world, the previous day when you came, also of previous thoughts, and cleanse and recharge your energy and feel absolutely fresh, free of any drowsiness, any lethargic energies. And that is the best energy to be for your first meditation. So make sure you wake up in time, guys. This is a precious day, one of those precious 10 days. Go ahead and have a bath, have a shower, feel fresh, energetically charged, all alert in your mind, in your body, and then go ahead to the meditation hall and for your first session, which will begin at 4:30 in the morning. Now on day 1, day 2 and day 3, what you're taught is Anapana, and not the Vipassana meditation technique that is taught to you from day 4 onwards. There is a very important reason for this. Anapana is a very important part of Vipassana meditation. It is the breathing method. It focuses just on your breath, and it is very important because it allows you to be prepared for the experience of Vipassana. Remember, we are all new meditators. When we go there, we're not advanced monks or meditators, and our mind is full of so much stuff. Our energies are heavy, and this technique allows us to feel more and more clear, more and more go inwards, to become more centered, more grounded, to make our minds become more subtler, more quieter, more blanker, for us to be able to truly feel ready to embrace the technique of Vipassana, which is taught to us, which is introduced to us on day 4. So Anapana is the practice which you will be taught starting 4:30 on day 1, and a lot of instructions will be given to you by Goenkaji, not to worry on that. It never compromises on instructions, so lots of instructions will be given to you. This is a technique on meditation whereby you will be just observing your breath. It's a pre-stage to Vipassana. This is not like pranayam. You're not going to be manipulating your breath in any way, lengthen, shorten, one nostril, other nostril, nothing of that. It's just an observation of the breath as it is. Now, how to go about it? It's exactly what you will be taught there. And for any doubts, your assistant teachers will always be there, apart from Goenkaji's constant instructions. And usually the Anapana, when you begin, it'll start from focusing on the part of your body which is around your nostrils, and then beneath your nostrils, and in the upper lip area above your mouth. That is the part. And beginning with just this small part, you will see the changes in yourself. You will experience in the first 3 days how you've been carrying. Remember, we are coming from external worlds. There's so much you've been carrying: past thoughts, emotional baggages, different energies, energetic imprints, emotional imprints, so many wounds, scars, and so many thoughts and so many things created by external stimulus. Now is the time when you're getting ready to release as much as possible by not judging, not analyzing, just by observing it and allowing it to be as it is. You will be given a lot of other instructions and a lot of other wisdom, a lot of other knowledge related to this. And this is the technique that you'll be practicing for the first 3 days. The beginning and at the end of each session, including the session on day 1, this first session of the day, there is a lot of chanting by Goenkaji, and a lot of it is in Pali language, and at the start of the session as well as at the end of the session at 6:30 in the morning. Now 6:30 is the time which is time for breakfast, and all the meditators will be heading directly to the main dinner hall, the main breakfast hall, And as I already explained in my previous video, there is absolute separation and no intermingling of genders throughout the course. The meditation hall is divided into two separate parts, one side for men, one side for the women, like it happens in a Sikh temple or a Gurdwara. In the lunch hall, the dining hall, there is a screening, and one side cannot see the other side, so men file in to their side, from their side of the dinner hall, and the women will file in from their side. Now here a fresh meal has already been prepared for you by meditators who are serving the course. They are old meditators and they are serving the course. It's a daan of service, a Dhamma daan for them, and with gratitude we accept this food which is so gracefully offered to us for nourishing our bodies, nourishing our minds, and nourishing our soul, especially for this practice which we have come to. So it's a fully freshly cooked meal by these beautiful volunteers who wake up early in the morning, a fresh, fully vegetarian, nutritious, nourishing breakfast. I've been for Vipassana, as I said, both in India and the US, and of course the meals are slightly different. In India you have a lot of vegetarian options. There would be roti, rice, and all the other usual things. In the US also, I have always had really not had much problem with the meal. In any case, I am a vegetarian, so there are no meat cravings for me. But the meal, which is usually that's been served in the center that I've gone to here repeatedly, it's usually you'll have salad, you'll have chickpeas or chola, you'll have dressings, you'll have bread, you'll have jam, you'll have butter. Bread will be of 2-3 different kinds, whole grain and whole wheat and those kinds. And you'll have yogurt, or depends from center to center, but these are the kind of things that I've had at the center where I've gone. You have milk, you have coffee, you have various kinds of teas, ginger tea or herbal tea, and other kinds of tea. You have lemonade, so you have all those things. So all in all, it's a full breakfast, and I'm sure no one stays hungry. You all file in quietly, take up your plates, your spoons, line up and keep filling your plates. If you want a second round, you most welcome to go ahead and add more to your plate and eat to your till you feel it's appropriate for you. And then we wash our own plates. We go ahead and wash our own plates, wash our own utensils. The instructions are given there, the soap, the sponge, everything is there, and how to stack them, where to stack them, because from there when the meal time is over, all the dishes are washed in big dish washers. They are sanitized completely. But for the first round, it's expected for us to wash our own plates, which is absolutely how it should be. So that's what we do, and then we head out from the hall, the breakfast hall, for a short period of break, which is till 8 o'clock, because 8 o'clock is when the next meditation session starts. The next meditation session will be from 8 in the morning to 11 o'clock in the morning, so 3 hours. Till then you have a break from about 6:30 to 8 o'clock, so this time is used in having your breakfast, and for people who have not had a bath, to go ahead and have a bath, and for other things. But if you've already had a bath, as I recommended, highly recommended you should be, before you go off your meditation, before you start your day, then this is a time when you can go ahead and take a walk in nature. There's always nature around at the Vipassana centers. There's always beautiful picturesque areas. There's a walking trail, and you can go ahead and take your walk, or you can just sit down somewhere and have a nice quiet view, contemplative time. Just view the scenery, just view the openness, just experience the sense of silence which is there, breathe in the fresh air, and just feel more centered. Or you can just go ahead in your own room and do whatever you need to, or just be quiet and all that. Now I want to mention the 5 most important precepts which everyone needs to take care of during Vipassana. All of these are mentioned again and again when you're registering, when you're signing up, and also in the introduction, in the orientation you're given in the evening on day 0. But I consider them important enough to be mentioned again. You have to take care. You are taking 5 vows. The vow of noble silence, of course, which starts from day 0. in the evening when you stop talking from anyone. There is no conversation of any kind. Now I want to make it clear what this means. It does not mean that you can cheat and you can talk to other people, including people with whom you're sharing a room, in gestures or in other kind of sign language or other made up ways. What it means is absolutely no communication, because this is for you to put a stop to the external stimulus which comes from talking or through conversation with someone, or looking at someone. Even when you look at someone, you get signals, you get, some kind of subtle or indirect or direct messages, ideas or judgments or analysis of some kind on the subtlest level starts in your mind, in your energy. So you are not, when you say noble silence, it's means just going inwards for those 10 days. You have to make believe that you are a solo monk in the forest out there, solo monk, and there's no one around you. How would you act? So no eye contact, no gazing at each other out of the corner of your eyes, no trying to make excuses to bump into each other or talk to each other. If this is difficult for some of you, please be assured that it's for your highest good. It might seem difficult, it might seem demanding, and but the things which are coming up from within you which cause anxiety around this are only coming up to be released. Trust me, if this were not an important precept, it would not have been introduced. So no gestures, no conversation, no verbal or any other kind of sign communication, no eye contact. The other precept is, of course, non-violence. There is no killing of anyone, including bugs or mosquitoes. Absolutely, we are practicing total harmonious, loving coexistence. So there is got to be love and non-judgmental behavior, attitude, and absolute purity, and a feeling of compassion and kindness, loving kindness for everyone, all of the creation out there, including the creepy crawlies. I did have an experience in one of my meditations in India, and there was a lizard in my room, and I am thoroughly scared of lizards, and I had to call one of the admin ladies from outside to help me guide the lizard out of the room. But please make sure that you're not indulging in any violence. Not that I could have indulged in any violence, I cannot go near a lizard. So just take care of that. There have been times when snakes have also been found, because sometimes the centers are in the wilderness, but I've never heard of anyone being hurt. They go away, they know their own way, they know their own path, and if you are having any problems, you please take the issue to the admin. And that's also the reason why we keep the main doors to our room always locked, including the rooms to the combined accommodations. There is one main entrance door sometimes, and when you enter, there are lots of other rooms. We always keep the main door securely closed behind us when we enter or we exit. This is also to minimize the incidence of bugs or other creatures entering, especially in the night when it's quieter and when the wildlife is more active. So the other thing is, of course, no lying, absolutely no lying of any kind, which also means that you're not someone who's bringing in things you're not supposed to, like you've sneaked in or smuggled in a cell phone or something else, or some music, because no one is going to be checking up on you. No one is going to come and, like a school monitor, and going through your things or rummaging through your stuff or asking you questions. It's all based on trust, because what you are gaining here is for yourself. It's not something you're doing for another person. It's not worth it to come here all the way with all that determination and then to start by breaking the few precepts for these 10 days, because it will dilute from your own practice. It will. So make sure you're not doing any of those things, smuggling in things or snacks, or on the sly talking to your roommate or talking to other people, trying to find excuse to talk to some other family member or friend who's coming with you, because you also, when you do this, you also break their practice, you also break their vows, you also disturb them and hinder their practice. So don't be that person who does that for your own self or for another person. So no lying on any accounts. Be truthful, honest, whatever is expected of you, indirectly, directly. Make sure you are thoroughly honest. And you are allowed to talk, of course, with the people who are serving the course and your assistant teachers for all your needs. That is the kind of conversation you're absolutely allowed to have in person. The other thing is, which is again obvious, no sexual conduct and no sexual misconduct of any kind. I'll leave it to you to absolutely understand what that means. And finally, there's absolute abstaining from any kind of consumption of substances, alcohol or any other kind of addictive substances. Nothing is allowed, and make sure that you've not smuggled in anything. I don't think this really happens, but just in case, this is one of the most important precepts that's mentioned. So there should be no mind altering or any other substances. Medicines, of course, as I said, important medicines for any of your ailments, which you have already shared with the staff, which you've already shared with the center that you will be bringing. Those are of course allowed, but there have to be no addictive substances, no alcohol consumption, no cigarettes, nothing of that sort in any way. At 8 o'clock is the time for your second round of meditation on your first day. Make sure that you are there in your place, in your assigned position, on your assigned seat in the main meditation hall, at least a couple of minutes before 8, and the meditation will start sharply at 8 o'clock. This is a group meditation, 8 to 9. It's a group meditation, and you practice again under Goenkaji's stated communicated instructions, and you continue practicing your Anapana practice. Further instructions, detailed instructions are given to you along the way, and you practice once again, throw yourself deeper into practicing Anapana. This goes on till 9 o'clock, and the session ends at 9. I think there is it continues directly from 9 to 10, or there's a tiny 2 to 5 minutes break, and the session starts again, and it goes on, and another round, and then another round. So there are 3 rounds basically, and it continues till 11 o'clock. Now 8 to 9 is the first group meditation session of the day, which means that these are times, group meditation sessions are times when everybody is expected to meditate only and only in the main meditation hall. The other times, the meditation, you have an option, you can meditate in your room or you can meditate in the meditation hall. But for the first day at least, or for the first few days, I think depending on how the center works, what the decisions they've taken there, the first time I think you were expected to do all your meditations right there in the meditation hall, because you're still learning, you're still listening to all the instructions. So it's, in any case, even if you're allowed to go back to your room and practice there and exercise this option, I would highly recommend that even when it's not a group meditation session, even when you do have the option of either practicing in the meditation hall or in the room, I would highly recommend that as much as possible practice in the meditation hall. It strengthens your practice, it reduces distractions, and most of all, it reduces the temptation of you falling asleep, or maybe being tempted to just go and have a lie on the bed, or other kinds of temptations or diversions. And also there's a combined whole energy, the whole atmosphere, and you're also aware that you're sitting there with everyone. So in every way it strengthens your practice and helps you be more disciplined. So definitely practice in the meditation hall, including in the morning. In the first day and first couple of days, obviously you have to be in the meditation hall at 4:30 in the morning, but after that you have an option again. You can either practice in your own room from 4:30 to 6:30 you can meditate there, or you can meditate in the meditation hall. I would always highly recommend to go ahead and practice in the meditation hall. It keeps you absolutely disciplined, and it gives you the optimal experience of this utilization of these 10 days. Again, in the room, and not everyone is very disciplined. Remember, you would not all experienced meditators or monks, and there is a huge chance of people continuing to stay asleep and waking up only at breakfast time, especially if there are no checks by the servers or the other admin people. They are not coming around checking the rooms. This can happen, and also the quality of your meditation would not be that good. Usually it's always best in these days to come and practice in the meditation hall with everyone undergoing Kaji's instructions. Always recommended. So 8 to 11 is your next round of meditation, these 3 hours, and at 11 o'clock the gong is rung again, and this is the time of your lunch and also the last main meal of the day. And I'm sure a lot of hearts might be sinking at this, but and this is also one of the reasons why a lot of people, they have like literal like they're so scared of this. Is one of the major points I've seen people being scared of the Vipassana experience. They cannot imagine the thought of their last meal being given to them at 11 in the morning, and they're like almost like they cannot starve there for the next 10 days. The thought is unbearable and it scares them like anything. But trust me, as I also said in my previous videos, this is not going to be the issue. This is not really going to be your major issues. There'll be other things you'll be dealing with which will prop up as the days progress. This will be the least one of them. Don't take my word. When you experience it, you'll realize how true I was. Food will stop being your main concerns for a lot of reasons. One of the major reasons for which is that a lot of your energy is now, in fact most of your energy is inwards. You're not doing anything, you're not working, you're not watching TV, you're not conversing, you're not traveling, you're not engaging with other company. All of your energy which was being used for outward things, even for analysis or even for engaging with others, even if engaging in useless restless thoughts, even if not doing anything active, but all of that energy is now being centered inwards. You're not consuming, you're not spending as much energy in futile things, in unproductive things, or in any things, in any activities at all. Your consumption, your need for food reduces drastically by just this very fact in the first place. And trust me, a lot of our need for food is because of the way the mind works. It's not what our bodies need, it's not really what our cells need, it's what our mind needs. There's a whole lot of our eating which is mind and emotion based, and we realize it only now that we need maybe half or maybe 2/3 of the food that we actually consume. We do not need as much food as we've been used to thinking in our regular lives that we do. We will not feel as much hungry when our minds are disciplined and the minds are turned inwards. We will not feel as hungry as we dreaded we will, as we thought we will. Food will in fact even stop being our predominant thought, even when we are eating food which we might not maybe eat at our home, or which might not be our first options, and which might not really initially appeal to our senses or taste buds. You will realize that it will do fine and you're not really missing other things, depending on how strong your cravings are. If you have deep-seated sanskars related to this, related to food, those they go down really deep, then you might have a little more harder time. But overall, even then, you will notice that food will not be such a big focus of your existence. So anyway, coming back to this time, 11 o'clock, this is the time when again everybody will be headed direct from the dining hall to the meditation, from the meditation hall to the dining hall. And just like you did in the morning, everything will already be laid out for you. Doors will be opened up for you, and men from men's side, women from women's side. You will have your nutritious, fully, freshly, lovingly prepared, fully vegetarian lunch. There's always rice, there's always salad, there's always some kind of pulse dishes like chola or chickpeas. That some of the things are always there. Bread is always there. The drinks, by which I mean tea, coffee, lemonade, and those things are always there. And you'll always also have a nice dessert at the end of, which is also there at the end of your lunch. And one of my the most interesting parts, not just for me but I'm sure for a lot of people, for most people, is wondering what there would be in dessert today, because that is one nice, we're still humans, nice part to look forward to. And I remember in my India meditation was long back, so I don't remember what there was, but for the US ones I do remember. Sometimes there's pie, sometimes there's chocolate cake, sometimes there is some pudding or something, some interesting things every day, and it's really nice. So, and you can also not sure if I mentioned in my second video that you should also carry along a water bottle with you, because you will be needing your water obviously with you. It's not allowed inside the meditation hall, but with you at other times in your room. And you always have water coolers there in the lunch hall, in the dining hall, and you can fill up your water bottles there, and you can carry water with you. Of course, when you are there for lunch or breakfast, you have glasses and you can use them for your tea, coffee and water. Again, as usual, when you're done with your lunch, you go ahead and clear up your dishes, and then you can go out. Also make sure, one good advice, there might be a tendency, especially for the first few days, for people, which Goenkaji also talks about in his evening lectures. There is sometimes and often a tendency for people to pile up their plates, because they think this is the last meal, after this I'm going to be starving, let me pile up and let me fill my body for the whole of the evening and night ahead, and I have to last the whole night and I will be getting my meal only the next morning. Don't do that, trust me, it'll just end up making you feel bloated or drowsy for all the other meditation sessions. So don't starve, of course, but stop a little before being absolutely bloated and full. Go out and use the other time you have. Now you do have about 2 hours breaks, so from 11 to 1, or usually till 1:30, so about 2.5 hours. You do have a longer break, so after you are done eating, you have so much time. You can it's almost noon, and you can have a walk out again on the nice, beautiful, picturesque walking paths, observe nature, observe so many species of birds, bees, converse, communicate with the clouds, with the fresh air, with the plants, with the flowers, with little creatures that you see around, maybe rabbits hopping around, maybe squirrels, little bugs. You can walk. If it's too warm, you can take an umbrella, wear a cap. If it's cold, you can take a shawl, wear your coats. And people walk, and when they pass by each other, they just lower their eyes. Nobody makes eye contact, nobody wishes each other. You just go on with the bhav of kindness for the other person and love, but you just go on your way. You don't look at anyone, and everybody does their own thing. So that's what I used to do usually, and after a walk for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, I used to go back to my room. This is the time when a little nap is encouraged officially also, so it's the right time for a nap. If you want to have a little nap, 40 minutes, 45 minutes or an hour, it's the best time to do that. Or if you have in the later days some clothes to wash, or a couple of clothes, a t-shirt or something to wash, you can always do that. Or you can just sit on your bed, contemplate again, or sit outside your room. If it's in such a place, you can sit outside and again taking the fresh air. So this is the time for that. And 1:30 usually is the time when the next meditation session starts, and either 1:30 or 2, and this again is a group meditation session. So for this you have to go in the meditation hall, and so people do that. And again you practice Anapana, and you deepen yourself in that technique. You keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's working inside you. You don't need to perceive, you don't need to analyze, you just need to follow the instruction and trust that whatever needs to be happening right now, you are being prepared for getting deeper into the actual technique of Vipassana, which is taught to you on day 4. So this happens from 1:30 to about 5 in the evening. So at 5 o'clock usually there's a break again in meditation after a period of about 2.5 to 3 hours, and this is the time for the evening tea break or snack break, depending on whether you are a new student, the first time Vipassana student, or whether you are an old student, which means you're coming from Vipassana second time or more times. Again you head back to the dining hall, and if you're an old student and you don't even want a drink, you don't want tea, coffee, anything, it's your option. You can go ahead and go to your room for some time to have a little break, or you can just go and have another walk in the nature, another conversation with the nature. or nobody's going to stop you if you want to continue sitting there. And this is valid for all other times also, except for, of course, when it's lunch or breakfast time. You can also go ahead and continue with your meditation if that's what you wish to in the hall with Anapana. You can continue doing that. Most people will head to the dining hall, and the new students would be there would be a snack ready for them, just like in the morning, and littles, maybe like in India, I remember sometimes there was chirwa, or I don't know what it's called, I think it's chirwa or chivra, I don't know, or poha, maybe little poha, or there biscuits and tea, or there's a fruit snack, maybe cut melon or things like that. And people were delighted because, remember, as I said, they were thinking we'll be starved to death, and here you're getting melons and watermelons. So trust me, they're not going to punish you. It's not that bad. They really take good care of you. And when you're expecting to get nothing and you get all those, it's such a surprise that you're filled with gratitude because you were expecting to go hungry. So anyway, for the old students, here again, for the new students in the years also, there's a snack, and for the old students, you just go ahead and have some tea or have some coffee, or you can have some lemonade, but go ahead and please don't add any tea, any milk to your tea or coffee. That's not allowed. There's again a reason for that. Nothing is here without a reason. So if you don't want to have tea or coffee, you can have lemonade. Just make sure that you're not again lying. You know that you're not allowed to have milk and you're having milk, because no one is going to question you, no one is going to ask you. Again, this is part of your precepts of not lying. And you can use the rest of the time for having a walk outside in nature, and before you head back to the meditation hall, because at 6 o'clock starts the next and the last group meditation session of the day, 6 to 7. So group meditation again means that you cannot meditate at this time in your room. You have to be present. Everybody has to be present in the main meditation, main Vipassana hall. So 6 to 7 again, you practice in the hall. It starts straight at 6. Make sure to be there before 6 o'clock and take up your place, and from 6 to 7 you continuing with your Anapana practice, following further instructions of Goenkaji, and then at 7 o'clock happens what is one of the most interesting part, not just of this day but of every single day till you are here in your Vipassana retreat. And this is a beautiful and much awaited, in fact, contrast from the whole of the day, because this is the time when you get to relax a bit and not meditate really, and you can sit up a bit easy. You don't have to be sitting up with your back straight, absolutely, if that's not what you want. And this is the time when you listen to Goenkaji's talk and look at his video. So a video of Goenkaji is put up there for you in the language in which the course is being in which the course is being given there. In US we have a lot of language options, so if the English is the main language of the course, English. If there are other languages which are part of that course, then I think it's given in that language is also an option for the video, and people go to different rooms. In India we had the main the video in Hindi in the main meditation hall, and people who had opted for English, including some people from other countries, some foreigners, they were given the option obviously to go to another room for this portion where they could see the video in English. So this is the most interesting part, when people also for the first time come to realize that Goenkaji is not that strict, rigid, authoritarian and boring meditator. He has an amazing sense of humor, and you listen to him talk a lot and you will find yourself laughing when you see him revealing and exposing some of the days some of the things you experienced on your first day. He has such a deep insight, peek into our psychology. Remember, he did that for years and years. So he knows how our minds work. He knows how we crave food. He knows how we want to pile up our plates, and he will be discussing all those in his most amazing way with an amazing sense of humor. It will be filled with so many examples and so many instructions, but given in such a witty and such a genuinely engaging way that ends up being one of the most loved parts of the day here in the Vipassana retreat, and especially when it's happening in Hindi, because that's his own language, so he is a little more free with his vocabulary and with what he wants to express. So it can be an amazing 1 to about 1 hour 15 minutes of time. It goes on till I think 8:30. I would say it goes on till 8:30. This discussion analysis of day 1 in Goenkaji's witty, instructional and sharing style. You dissect what happened through the day, why you did what you did, other things which he wants to bring up to your notice. He will always say great, he'll congratulate you on finishing, on ending, on going through your day 1, and he will also tell you that now 9 days are left. A lot of hard work needs to be done. Don't waste any of your time. Make sure to meditate, make sure to meditate, make sure to meditate. So at 8:30, I think you're allowed to go to your rooms. That's what happened in India, but in the US I've noticed that 8:30 they make us further meditate. Lights are put off in the meditation hall, and there's another 25 minutes to half an hour of meditation. I personally prefer the way it's done in India, because at that point I have personally realized that it's all you want to do is, because it's been a long day, you want to go and be in your room and crash into your bed. And also you feeling a little you've started feeling a little drowsy because it's been a long 16-17 hour day. And then but whatever it is, you go through it to your best, and then 9 o'clock I think you're set off to your room, and by 9:30 the lights are put off, which means the outside lights. You'll also be expected to put off your lights in your room, and whether you're falling asleep or not, but be in your bed. Brush your teeth, or if you wish to have a bath at this time, depending on if you have your own room and or your shared room. I've always been lucky to have my own room, so this is the time when you can do whatever you need to, change into your night dress and get ready for bed. I used to put off my light, and I used to leave the curtains on my window partly open, because I could see the moonlight, and I could also see the shape of trees outside, and that used to be nice for me. And then you get ready to fall asleep and wake up again the next day early morning. Now one of the two things can happen here in Vipassana, especially in the beginning days or even in the later days, depending on, everyone is different, we are all different with what's coming up and what's happening through us throughout these days. You might either really just fall asleep the moment your head touches your pillow and have a nice deep sleep, or you might have trouble sleeping, or even if you fall asleep, it's not a very deep or not a very comfortable sleep, because a lot is being released. So whatever happens, don't analyze, don't judge, it's all part of it. Just be thankful for this experience and be ready to wake up at again 4 o'clock the next day. So that's how the whole day routine is broken up in a Vipassana course. This was about day 1. The same thing happens on day 2, and the same thing happens on day 3 pretty much. At the end of each day, there is Goenkaji's video lecture, which you thoroughly enjoy. He congratulates you at the end of each day, dissects what happens and what things could have come up in your mind or in your experience through that day, including people opening eyes and looking around at other people and realizing that everyone else is meditating and they are the only ones who's looking around, and when that person closes their eyes, there would be someone else. So Goenkaji makes it so funny that there will always be different moments when people will be opening up their eyes and looking around, and when they do that, incidentally no one else has their eyes open, so that we'll all end up thinking that we are the only ones who are not meditating. And it's hilarious because that's how human psychology works. So fortunately for me, I never did that. Even when it was uncomfortable to sit for longer periods of time, I've never opened up my eyes. I would have been too stuck by conscience, so I've never opened my eyes and looked around. But this is again a very interesting thing when we think the whole world is disciplined and really into it, and we are the only ones who's unable to do it. So all those things happen, and serious discussions, serious instructions, as well as humor happens in all those evening lectures. It lightens up the day and puts us in the right mood, and next day again we go through the whole routine, and we know in the evening we'll have a little relaxed break with Goenkaji's audio and video. So that's how the days progress till day 4, when we are given our first instruction into the actual technique of Vipassana. It's giving me goosebumps to talk about that, so I will hold on to it and come back in my next video to talk what happens day 4 onwards. So you hold tight till then, register, digest all that we've talked about till now, and do make sure to come back for my next video. Subscribe to my channel, press that bell icon to receive all notifications in case you haven't already done so. Share ahead this video and all these videos with all others out there, and I'll see you next time.